Hey there, friends. New location today. I'm not in my office. I'm actually in my front living room, which is where we spend a lot of our time. And I cannot believe it. We are already halfway through the year this year. And so I wanted to take a moment to check in on the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. My 2025 goals, both business and personal. And I wanted to take some time, celebrate the things that I'm on track for, adjust on the things I'm not on track for them, and decide, do I want to change how I'm going about that? Do I want to remove the goal entirely? I'm not sure. So I'm going to kind of run through the list, talk about what I think is going well and what's not going well, and just have an honest sit down and talk with you about it. The first goal we set at the beginning of the year was to pay off our HVAC system. We installed an HVAC system before our tenants moved out, before we moved into this house. We bought it on credit, like 0% interest. Interest started accruing after the end of the year. We still haven't paid too much in interest, but it definitely, we are paying money in interest. We should have paid it all off in that time, but we had other priorities. And so now we're trying to finish that off. We're putting a good chunk towards it every month. But I actually ended up prioritizing something else over this the last few months. And that is number 2, which is finishing fully funding my 3-month emergency fund, which luckily we did accomplish this month, like literally last week, we accomplished this. I just wanted to get my emergency fund to a number I felt healthier about. And I felt that we needed to do that before we did the accelerated payoff of the HVAC system, just to make sure, I mean, especially with my industry, that I wanted to make sure we were taken care of on the emergency fund end before moving on to the HVAC system, but the HVAC is up next. Number 3, we wanted to pay off half of my Honda CR-V. We're probably not gonna pay off half this year. I will probably put a few extra payments towards it by the end of the year, but probably not gonna pay it off in its entirety. The half paid off like I had wanted to. Honestly, I still need to figure out if we're gonna accelerate the payoff on that or on our HELOC first. That I have not made progress on, other than just paying my normally scheduled payments. Number 4, we wanted to get our pool resurfaced and our pump repaired or replaced at a minimum. And at the time when I set the goal, I said, oh, we'll probably get a new auto cover, and which we don't have an auto cover now. I wanted to get an auto cover and a pool heater to maximize our use of this thing that we have. My reasoning for wanting the resurfacing and the pump is they actually really needed to be done. They actually really probably needed to be done last year. We just kind of babied it along, tried to make it last as long as we could. And by the end of last season, the pump was completely out. And we're regularly in the triple digits here. Our home has a pool. We want to maintain it to the best of our abilities. The pump was out by the end of last year, and the resurfacing, it had gotten dire. So we got a quote for those, and we also got a quote to add a heater and an auto cover at the same time, because, you know, when you're already spending so much money on having and maintaining a pool, you want to make the most of it. And an auto cover and a heater would help us get more use out of our pool all year, for more of the year. Basically adds a month on either end of pool season and makes using the pool more comfortable. You don't have to do as much advanced planning, like making sure the solar cover is put on at certain times and things like that, which is a lot of extra stuff to manage. And honestly, it's hard for me to manage by myself. Putting the solar cover on and off our pool is kind of a 2-man job. And so I have to plan to do it when Josh is available, which adds another layer to it because we're not both home all the time. So we got the quotes for all those things to get done, which also meant adding a lot of electrical that was way more complicated than I expected. We needed to upgrade the panel in the garage, and then we were gonna have to go into the concrete to put conduit, to add the auto cover and add the electrical for the heater, and it was gonna be a lot of conduit and stuff like that. I have a great electrician. I know he's giving me a fair price. I use him all the time in my business. But that was gonna add $5,000 just for the electrical, and then the heater itself I think was like 3 or 4. And then the auto cover was very expensive. I remember being appalled at how expensive it was. I think it was like $14,000 for the auto cover. So we elected not to do that. this year. The pump and the resurfacing were expensive enough on their own, in all honesty. The resurfacing alone was about $16,000, closer to 17, and the pump was $3,000. And those were things that were like high priority, needed to be done, and I did not want to overextend us. We were taking a HELOC out to pay for it, and I don't want to do anything that puts our home in jeopardy, which is also why I think I'll pay off the HELOC before the CRV, because they could come and repo a CRV all they want, but they're gonna have to drag me out of this house in a body bag. So yeah, we ended up kind of getting the minimum done for that. We did get the pool resurfaced and it looks fantastic. One of the things we did when we did do the resurfacing, because it was necessary and we're like, well, we're already spending the money, so we were able to change it to an aesthetic that we liked more, because when you're resurfacing you get to choose a color, and we could have kept it the same or changed and it doesn't cost any different. So we changed it to a darker color, which we know not only does it look better, because ours before, the color always looked dirty even when it wasn't. It actually holds the heat so much better. So when the solar cover's on, the solar cover works even better, and then it holds the heat in even more, which is actually fantastic in those other areas. And we also got a new solar cover instead of a pool heater, because we actually needed a cover of some kind. Our solar cover last year basically started disintegrating into the water. It was so old and so ripped up and everything. So we got a new solar cover installed. And that wasn't that expensive. That was a couple $100s, but we got it cut to fit. It's actually easier to manage. So even though we didn't do a couple of big ticket things, we still feel really happy. Just kind of reiterate for all the people on here, I know this is a first world problem, and I know this is a huge luxury we have in our life. This is also why we don't take any vacations basically for a 6-month period through the summer, because we know we have this, we love it. We both work very, very, very hard in the spring and summer and into the fall. And so we know we don't take vacation during those times. And then we know we get to come home to our home, which is a fantastic home. And the pool is a big part of why that's so fantastic. And we have triple digits a lot of the year. So yeah, it's really nice for us to have. And that to us is kind of like feeling on vacation at home. Number 5, I wanted to fully fund my retirement. I will do that this year. That will actually be prioritized above the CRV payoff. Dave Ramsey, put your fingers in your ears if you're listening. I don't slow down on investing in order to pay off debt. It could not get fully funded this year. I mean, fully funding it is $7,000. May not fully fund it. It may be like $5,000 or $6,000, but I'm gonna put a good chunk towards it. I wanna make sure that I'm still investing. I wanna make sure I'm still taking advantage of my time in market. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cause in reality, I could pay off like the HVAC at any time. I have the money. So I'm not too worried about that. So Dave Ramsey, don't listen. But yeah, so we will continue to invest in our retirement, whether or not we are debt free. Number 6, I'm gonna read 6 business or finance books. I've read one. I read Millionaire Mission by Brian Preston, the Money Guy, and he's fantastic. If you've never watched the Money Guy on YouTube, he's amazing. I also really love Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap, local hero here for me. She's on the west side of the state. I went to school in Seattle, theater major. So I get her, I get it. She speaks my language and she's fantastic, but I didn't read that this year. I read it last year. So yeah, I read one book. I think I need to be more honest with myself about this goal, because I think honestly, most of my time spent reading is for escapism. I listen to a lot of business podcasts, and I go to a lot of trainings, and I go to a lot of conferences, and I watch YouTube videos. I mean, I get a lot of business and finance content. It's just when it comes to reading in particular, I feel my best when that's really something that's for enjoyment and not for learning necessarily. While I'm not on track to meet this goal, I think I feel really okay about that. And I think in the future, I would lower this goal down to like 2 a year. I would keep it really simple and keep it really achievable. Number 7 is read 12 plays. I think I'm at like 2 or 3. It's on my wall in my office in there. I am not doing well on this. I know I will get closer to the goal so I'm the chair of a play selection committee at my community theater. So we read a lot of plays, especially as we get closer to our deadline. Our deadline's in November for having a slate to present to the board. So as we get closer to that, I will actually like devour a lot more plays. But part of my reason for setting this goal was to read things on my own and like go out and read them for an enjoyment. And I honestly have been struggling with that because most of my reading time is also doing other things. So it's like winding down for bed, or I'm in the bath, which I don't want to take a script into, or I'm cutting things for dinner, and it's not a time where I'm just sitting and reading most of the time. So I have not found a way to protect that time. And this is something that I am still really passionate about and I would like to do, but I think I need to be more realistic. I think I probably need to lower this goal down to like 6. Number 8, hire leverage in the form of a video editor. And I've done that. I actually did that as I was like posting this goals video at the beginning of the year, the video that this is kind of all based on. And I'm loving it. I'm super happy with that decision. It is a load off of my back and I really appreciate that. And so I'm very happy with that one. Number 9, my goal is to do 10 million in volume, which would be 24 transactions roughly in my real estate business. The 10 million in volume is more important to me than the number of transactions. It's just that with my average price point, it will probably take me 24 transactions to get there. Knowing that that's the case, I'm at 7 transactions and about 3.5 million in volume so far this year, which isn't bad. And I actually have 3 good size ones in escrow right now. And I have one that ended up turning into a referral rather than a closed unit. So I'm losing $400,000 in volume there and a unit. But I have 3 in escrow that'll, I think, end up being just under 2 million in volume. That'll close, all 3 close in July. I'm pretty confident with where my pipeline is right now and how busy I am right now that this is gonna continue to translate and trend upwards for the year. So I should be at 5 million and I'm really at 35. So I'm at 35% of goal, really, is I guess what I'm saying, rather than 50%. But it is typical in the real estate market to have more volume in your summer months rather than the beginning of the year and the end of the year. So I think I'm still gonna be fine. I'm doing the activities. That's the most important part. We always look at in real estate, like how many appointments does it take for you to meet that transaction goal? How many appointments do you need to be going on? And I am very on track on my appointment goal. Some people just take longer to close. Some people just take longer to convert. So as long as I keep on top of my appointment goal, it will end up working out all okay. So I'm not too worried about it. Number 10, I wanted to publish 24 YouTube videos. I am not on pace, probably about 35% of the way too, but I am working on catching back up and getting there. Number 11, I wanted to get my business checking to a 3-month holding point, 3 months of salary and expenses in my business checking as like a holding point consistently. So the hard part about this and how it's been so far is that I have had a couple of months without a commission. So obviously that drains things down. But then right now I'm in a few month stretch here where I'm gonna have multiple closings per month. So I'm at this goal right now, but I do not have a closing lined up for here in June, but I did have a nice big referral check. But it's not equal to what the expenses and salary that I pay myself would be. So it's gonna take a little bit of a dip down. But I'm pretty confident that if I continue at the pace I'm going now, that I will be at this number as a holding point. I'm working on it, I'm getting there, and I've really made big progress. So I'm really happy with where I'm going so far. Number 12, 52 workouts on the year. This was to really help facilitate some mobility and fitness goals that I had. I would say that I'm definitely not on track to do 52, but I am doing significantly better than I was this time last year, if that makes sense. So I'm still really happy with the progress. The fact that I'm not like on track to do 52 is not bothering me because I feel good. And I feel like I am making progress and it's getting better. And that's honestly just looking at that goal and working towards it is doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting me in motion. So that's good. The next one was number 13, get 6 massages in a year. This was really just to make myself find space in my life to decompress, disconnect, and spend some time alone on some self-care. Because even when I take like a bath at night, I have my phone with me and I'm working and I'm responding to things and I'm sending emails and things like that. So going to the spa and getting a massage 6 times a year was like a challenge for myself, because you have to disconnect for a few hours really to make that happen. And that's nerve-wracking for me. How I've been managing it is I'm scheduling the next appointment before I even leave. And so I'm not really giving myself a choice. I'm doing it. I'm scheduling the next appointment before I even leave. And I actually get a little discount for doing that. So that's nice. And then, yeah, I'm completely on track for this. I'm definitely on track for this. Number 14, 12 date nights outside the house. I am really sad that we are slacking on this one, but this is definitely one that this time of year, it's kind of the inverse of the real estate cycle. We go on more date nights when I'm not in a busy time of year because it's easier for me to get away. And not only am I in a busy time of year right now, but I'm also in a show right now, and it's also my husband's busy time of year. So we came out the gate real hot with this at the beginning of the year, and then now quality time just doesn't look like out of the house date nights, because that was the verbiage there, out of the house date nights. And right now quality time's not looking like that. Right now quality time is looking like we actually get to have dinner together, turn the TV off and have dinner together at home. That is happening like one night a week right now. That looks like quality time. Quality time is also looking like when I get out of rehearsal and get home at the end of the night, we're sitting on the patio and eating an ice cream bar or having a cocktail. That's what quality time is looking like right now. That's where we can find it. So that's where we're spending it. But I anticipate that as work slows down for both of us after the end of July, that will start picking back up again. Number 15 was to book another trip to Mexico on points. I had said in that video that I was trying to make this a yearly thing where we use the points, we run all of our expenses for our household through our credit card. And by doing it that way, we make sure that we get travel rewards. And last year I booked an all-inclusive trip completely on points. And at the time I didn't feel like I even needed a vacation because we actually had just gone on one not long before. But after we got there, we both just decompressed and felt so much better. And we both went, you know what, we need to do this every year. We need to find this time every year. And I said, wouldn't it be really awesome? Because I think I closed 2 transactions while I was there and negotiated something else while I was there. So, I mean, I was even still working while I was there, honestly. And wouldn't it be great if we did this every year on points? If we could just count on this trip every year, basically for free. And so we set that as a goal, and I just booked the next one for next March. The nice part about doing an all-inclusive that way is that we get the food, we get the drinks, we get the hotel, everything all covered. So it's really exciting way to do that. All right, so that is where I'm at 6 months in. As you can tell, I'm doing really well on some of these, and I'm doing not so well on others. And I think some of it was just setting the bar too high and maybe not super realistic. And some of it was just like, hey, maybe this isn't a priority this year. Like, just honestly, maybe I felt really good about it being a priority at the beginning of the year, but once I looked at the reality of things as we got up against them, we just went, nope, not a reality, not a good fit. And I think it's important that we acknowledge those things and we put some words to them so that way they really land with us more. So if this video gave you a little bit of motivation, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, what goals are you doing well on so far this year? And don't forget, if you're looking to buy, sell, or maybe even get into a career in real estate, that you email me at corieburck@gmail.com. My details are down below. Have a wonderful day.